Hey, so this week we have, as you've just heard, Vultures by John Mayer. So it's not easy, but it is easy. Don't really make sense, right? So it's one of those solos where you're going to work on your phrasing rather than sort of playing a million notes and all that sort of stuff. As with John Mayer, he's got such a wonderful technique when he plays that it's a nice sort of discipline to try and get used to. So less is more and all of that sort of stuff. Sometimes the case, not always the case by the way, but sometimes the case. So as far as the solo is concerned, how many bars we've got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars. 8 bar solo. Nice and easy. Within those bars, there is fairly kind of concise. There's not a lot going on, but there is so much going on. So there you are. That's where your learning is going to come into it, the bends and everything like that. So if you did like this, or you do like this even, please do hit that subscribe button and visit all the socials as well. Hit the bell button, and if you are new to the hype button thing that comes along, within 7 days, if you strike that, then this pushes the video forward. All good, right? Nice one. So thanks to my patrons, and I will leave you a breakdown coming up now. So you start bringing the major element into your pentatonics with this. So F sharp. Basically F sharp major, so you will be using this major third quite a lot, starting with your 16th fret full tone bend on that third string. So bringing that down without hearing it, going straight to the second finger on your 15th fret for a semitone bend up to the pitch of the 16. So nice and subtle, nice and slow on that second bend as well. 2 strikes of the 16 on your D string, and then you go 14 on your third string with vibrato back on the 16th fret 4th string for 2 strikes of that. Back to the 14 on your third string, and then you're going to bend the 16 on that third string up, down, and then take it back up again, all with one pick. So pretty much like that. Okay, then at the end of this next bar you end up with the 15th fret semitone bend, so you're taking it to the pitch of the 16, going to the 16 on your 4th string, 14 on your 3rd, and a very quick hammer on right at the last moment to bring in that 16th fret on that 3rd string. So don't forget the vibrato on the 14. That is really important because that's kind of giving you most of the flavour. So lovely flavour in that. Then that brings you on to your next little part, which is basically the 5th bar into your solo. And that is going to be 16th fret 3 times, but you're going to have a rest in between each one. So pretty much like that, okay? Now I think I put vibrato on the demo, but I'm not sure John Mayer does. 2 strikes of the 14 at the end of that bar for 2 16th notes on that second string, leading you to the 17th with your little finger or your 3rd finger on the same string, straight up with the 16th 3rd string, straight back down to the 16 as well, because you're coming kind of a Hendrix style bend on that. And then it's the 14th fret with vibrato on that next stage 3rd string. So that's your next little part there. So that's after the 14 where you're holding that, adding vibrato. Going back to the 16, striking it as it is, and then you're going to bend it up, let it down, pull off to the 16. Okay, you didn't hear that, but it was there. Basically back to the 16 on your 4th string for 2 strikes. No vibrato I guess on that, but I think I may have put it in a demo. So this next section you're raking into the 14, so that's muting the strings which are above, technically below, that 14th fret on the 3rd string. So you're not going to hear those strings as far as notes are concerned, but you will hear that percussive sort of like element as you rake through it. And then you release the rake on the 14th fret, so you end up with basically for your next set. So that's going to be the 14, 16, you've raked into the 14, go to the 16, bend it up, let it down, and then it's the 14 again to the 16 on the D this time. Strike the 16 twice, and then pull off from the 16 to the 14 again, right at that last moment, if you can, of that beat. And that is the end of your solo. It's such a simple one, but the same with all of John Mayer's stuff, is it's quite tricky to get the hang of the tone or quality of it and just some of the nuances within. But bringing in this, I love these. Using that major third to kind of bend and come out of that major third and resolve it back to what would be the fourth in the sequence, then it's such a great technique to get used to. I'm going to play it slower and it will sound like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Three, 4. Something along the lines of that. There you go, hand you back to me. At the end, hey Patreons, thank you so much for supporting this channel. There's more lessons coming soon, loads of jam trackers. There's loads of jam tracks as well. If you did like this lesson and you want to learn more with me, then you will obviously hit that subscribe button and the bell button as well. It's the only way to do it, because then you get all the notifications. There you are. The tab, as always, is free on my website, dansguitar.com, and I will not blabber on too much more because, to be honest, I ain't got anything else to say. So I'm going to see you all later. See you next week. Remember to watch the Lick Friday stuff, and, which is what you're watching now, the quick licks and Jam with Dan videos and all of that. There we go. Take care. Have fun. Great weekend. See ya.